Good evening, everyone. Blessings. This is Pine Grove News Live. Live on Mixler, live on YouTube. Yep. Good evening, everyone. 6:01 p.m. here on the East Coast. Let me shut that off in case you hear echoes. 6:01 p.m. And here we are. Evening's coming. Pink sky. Sunset. Well, so obviously, I was expecting to have the clocks turned back this weekend, but apparently it's not this weekend either. It's next weekend. In any case. And I don't know if anybody else is experiencing any problems with Mixler, if anybody's been on it today, but really weird things over on my PC. Go over there and, where I normally go, sign in, you hear one thing, and then next thing you know, it changes to another. Somebody talking once, and then you hear music. Every time you refresh, there's a different thing going on. So I don't know if it's a Mixer thing. I don't know if we're going to experience any problems here tonight, but it will all be recorded. Yep. So, I went over a few things last night, a couple videos. It's just very crazy out there with a lot of things going on. I've never seen anything like it before. And I'll try to explain that in a bit. But, with these midterms coming up, you hear the normal chatter and the commercials, every program on TV, or, an email from, I don't know how Courtney got my email from this guy here in Connecticut. But he did. Somebody sold it to him. So I'm talking about other things like what I just explained, Mixler. A lot of threats out there. They're talking about a red tsunami, and you'll hear later on there's a article or two that talks about some kind of other red something going on. I'll get to that in a minute. But then I go out there and there's stuff like this. Let me see if I can give it to you here. This was very strange. Okay? It's from, World Israel News, WIN. Israel strikes in Syria continue after downed Russian plane. Now, I didn't really read a bunch of it, but, I've heard this before. I've heard this exact same thing before. This is posted October 29, 2018. That's today. Now, why are they posting and reposting old news? Is this old news, or did this happen again? Let's go read it. According to statements from an unnamed Israeli official, Israel has continued to strike targets in Syria, even after Russia issued stern warnings following a downed spy plane in September. Okay, well, now I get it, but it is the same old picture and the same headline. Where's this other? There's another one I got that's kind of reinstituted. Oh, I didn't pick it up, but it's about that redhead comedian woman who supposedly had carrying around a head of Trump in some kind of comedic, response to him becoming president. That was out there again. There's a lot of stuff that I don't know what it is. It's just weird. They're filling the airwaves and the internet with stuff to just throw you off. I don't get it. Let's just go on with the news. So anyways. And the other thing that I feel, it's more than a feeling. It's kind of after hearing all this news for quite a long time, I do feel that there is a war coming. And regardless of whether, they're all in on it together, that it's all part of a stage. It's all part of a skit, okay, that they have to play out while the elites, they're the ones with the power, okay? While that still goes on, they still have to have, this bully that I keep talking about. And of course, North Korea is not that anymore, and so it has to turn. But now we're hearing other things, and they're really ramping up. I mean, China, right here, is getting ready, telling it's, being prepared, telling us it's military to get prepared. And this is concerning Taiwan and the Spratly Islands there. The ones that, I mean, what was it, 2 years that they, or longer, that they just were out there in international waters, China, with these dredge machines, making islands. There's shallow, there's kind of like sandbars type thing, the shallow waters, but they're taking soil and sand from the bottom and piling up on these shallow areas and making islands out of them. That's what they did for at least a couple years, maybe a few. And I'm saying, the news then was, why is China being allowed to build islands, airfields, install missile batteries and others, such, militarizing these Spratly Islands in international waters? Nobody said a thing. They just let them build them. There was just story after story of them building, maybe a couple flyovers from the U.S. where China is, ordering them to get out of the area. I mean, it's in international waters. They don't have to get out of the area. I think this nautical thing from the UN, I think everyone's allowed, I think it's 12 miles or maybe it's 112 miles. I don't know, something like that. Something with a 1-2 in it off each other's coast that is considered their waters. After that, it's international waters. Of course, China is trying to declare everything south of them, including the Yellow China Sea. Maybe it's not but anyway, the Spratly Islands. They want that whole corridor, to themselves, including Taiwan. And there's been a lot of pushing and shoving according to Taiwan. Taiwan does not want to go back to, being ruled by China. They do not want that at all. Taiwan has made, friends with the U.S., and the U.S. has been taunting China, sailing their warships near Taiwan. And so between Taiwan and the Spratly Islands and all these other things, and the trade war, the cyber wars, everything, I'm afraid, is built up. They're going to have another war. It's not going to be a full-scale nuclear war. It's just not, because they need to have this war in order for these things in the New World Order to work. I mean, who knows? They may even have the stock market once and for all collapse, because it's due anyway. Everybody's really ramping up on that as well. Any day now, because the stock market has already erased all the gains from last year, and they're going into the red. And there's always, well, not always, probably within the past 5 years, maybe even 2012, been talk of a reset. Now, with the stock market and what it actually is, to me, it's just a Ponzi type scheme, a pyramid scheme, and it's run by the elites and their money. It's kind of like a gambling pool, Yes, people have made money off of it, and yes, people have lost a lot of money on it. But should something like that actually rule over the economies of the world? I mean, what does that have to? in any case, maybe I don't understand something, but I don't see how the stock market, if it falls, if it goes belly up and pops and bursts, just like the real estate market, all that stuff, the big burst. Well, the real estate market is still here. Of course, that's selling real property. But anyways, between this and these things going on with the meetings between Germany, Iran, Turkey, Russia, something's going on. I mean, Germany is kind of fed up with the U.S. China's fed up with the U.S. A lot of people are becoming fed up with the U.S. And yes, we're going to talk about the caravan too. Some people want to continue calling it caravan. And let's try and call it for what it is. But in the meantime, let me get some stuff out there for you. Hey, Karen and Andrew, how you guys doing? Andrew, been looking for you for days, brother. Where you been? We could talk later, brother. Yeah. Prayers, brother. So, let's start with this first. The weather that's going on. We've had earthquakes that's going on. We always have these going on, right? Well, Super Typhoon U2 Rosita to slam into the Philippines after wreaking havoc across the northern Marianas. And this was yesterday's news. So I have not gotten any updates as of yet about the Philippines. We will have it for you on Wednesday. But you know what it did to the Marianas? I just went over those islands. So that's what we just read. The second significant landfall that's coming up is the Philippines. Let's see. The current forecast track takes you to directly over Isabella, late October 29th. That's today. And let's see. This is the 26th named storm of 2018 typhoon season and the 7th super typhoon. Now, I don't even have to look it up, and I can tell you that those are all broken records. It just seems like we're doing that every year now for the past 5 years, 3 to 5 years. Every year is just totally bigger, more devastating storms and earthquakes. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you how many of these 6-pointers on up we've had in the past 3 months. We were tracking them in what was it, August, we were tracking them. There was something like 17 of them, 17, I don't know, it was a big number. But this one we had today, this was in at the bottom of the world. Very tip of South America, the Drake Passage. I don't know if you know about that one, but yeah, the Drake Passage. Right between South America and Antarctica. So that was at 6.3. That was no issued tsunami warning that I know of, and we had a 6.1 Sunday off the guess where. Right south of where the caravan is. Actually, it's in Central America, in El Salvador. So I guess some of those people, left that. 6.1, and I have not gotten any news of any effects that's happened over there as well. So I've been pretty busy over the weekend. I go to work, and paint all day, and then I come home and my wife wants me to paint. So, go figure. I don't get it. All right, so let's talk about this. I mean, Fukushima came into the news again. Okay, and ENE News, which no longer is up. They took it down. Okay, as far as I know, me and World Watchman from Northern California, we used to get our updates to, for Fukushima from them. They were taken down because they were reporting some things. So I got this video up here that I put on my Facebook page yesterday, I believe. Fukushima Update 2018. It's all dead. And this is from the Watchman Review. There's a couple points that I just wanted to make. I'm going to go different sections and point that out. It's a 17-minute video. I mean, if you could listen to my news, this is a breeze, and it's very interesting. Tells you the levels even now in some areas, even on the West Coast, and there's two places that they took readings from. And let's see, one of them was Tillamook Bay and Gold Beach, Oregon. Two different points there on the West Coast, more northern West Coast. And, the average, I'm going to try and skip around, but I don't know if I want to do that. I want you to listen to the first 2 minutes, but they take readings, okay, from these two areas. And the average reading is 73. And they call it sieverts or serverts. I guess that's the radiation level that they check. And after a while, after he holds his meter there, and I couldn't believe that he was still standing there after the readings that he got. So an average would be 73 sieverts, and within about 5 minutes, it was up to 530. Yeah, 530 sieverts per hour. So 4 sieverts, okay, listen to this, just four sieverts, okay, and the average, because Obama raised the level for radiation levels when this started happening way back, okay, and we've covered this many times. There's stories out there where things were showing up on the beach and so on and so forth, but it only takes 5 sieverts, okay, per hour to kill a person 50% of the time. Okay, so it's a 50-50 shot. Flip a coin, 4 sieverts could kill. Now the average out there, they raised to 73, but they were getting 530 sieverts. I'm just wondering, if that is the case, where are all the dead people? I mean, shouldn't people be dying from this? I mean, they can't even get into the Fukushima number 3 at least the last time we knew, because that thing, they couldn't find the core. That's the core that it's melting into the earth. You know, that China syndrome effect? That's what's happening on the third one there. And the reason why I came out with this Fukushima news is because Japan had announced that they were dumping radiation into tons of it. And I forget the exact amount. Thought I had it here, but tons of this radiation, they're just going to dump into the ocean. They're just dumping it in there. But and so we've heard other stories too, about the salmon. The salmon did not return. I've heard stories in the beginning that starfish were just turned into muck. They were just thought it was some kind of disease. But let's listen to a little part of this clip. And it starts off dating it March 11, 2011. And we see on a video that one of these plants explode. Boom.
We were told 3 partial meltdowns, don't worry about it. Now we know it was 100% core melt in all 3 reactors.
Japan is by orders of magnitude many times worse than Chernobyl.
TEPCO is like the little Dutch boy. All of a sudden we have cracks in the dike. You put a finger here, you put a finger there, and all of a sudden new leaks start to occur, and they're overwhelmed. Literally making it up as they go along. We're in totally uncharted territories. You get any nuclear engineering book, look at the last chapter, and this scenario is not contained in the last chapter of any nuclear engineering textbook on the planet Earth. So they're making it up as they go along, and we are the guinea pigs.
Nuclear power plant at Fukushima underwent a great deal of damage in 2011 due to an earthquake and a tsunami. The damaged fuel pool in reactor number 4 and 11.
We stand on the apex of the food chain. You can't.
You know, all I can say, I'm going to cut in here. All I can say is that scientists are calling it an extinction level event. We've not even seen yet, okay, because they're hiding most of it. And you know, the Pacific Ocean could actually be part of prophecy, because the Pacific Ocean, which now a lot of people are saying that it's dead, fishermen go out there and they don't see the birds, you know, that normally are out there fishing, you know, going into the waters. It's just dead. They don't see anything. They saw one whale, I believe, two of these fishermen said, and the whale was just kind of slowly rolling on the top of the water. That's the only thing they saw in like thousands of miles. So 1/3, okay, that is the number that's in prophecy. 1/3. When you read in Revelations where they, some kind of, I'm just paraphrasing obviously, some kind of fire mingled with something else was tossed into the ocean. I've always said that this reminded me of Fukushima, you know, because of the radiation and all that stuff. That it's actually, you know, this radiation is actually heat. In any case, so they put that, it went into the water and still goes into the water. 300 tons every day that they're dumping into the Pacific. And why do they have, I mean, I understand why nuclear plants have to be next to water, obviously, because you need that to cool the core down. But in any case, man, 1/3 of the oceans, 1/3 of the oceans, yeah, I think that was it in Revelation, is going to be dead, is going to die, will be poisoned by wormwood. So, you know, why can't Fukushima be wormwood? I mean, they're still thinking that something's going to fall from the sky and then splash into the water. Well, it doesn't say that about the first one. The second one they talk about in Revelation, which they named wormwood, comes in like a meteorite, and I don't know whether it explodes above or in the atmosphere, maybe even causing some kind of an EMP type situation. But all this stuff is supposed to be poisoning the rivers, and you know that's also after the first one. But anyways, I'm just trying to explain something that I wasn't even going to think I was going to get to. So I'm just shooting from the hip here. But this is a good video. I mean, trying to point out some things in here for you. Were relevant that I wrote down. But I think I just about talked about everything. And they're still dumping it in, and scientists don't know how to fix it. I know some guy was on a plane. I don't know if it was this video or another.
Long-term public exposure to radiation can now be as high as 2,000 millirems. That means instead of having a 1 in 10,000 chance of getting cancer, it's now a 1 in 23 chance over a 30-year period. And
yeah, so did you hear that? It used to be 1 in 10,000. Now it's 1 in 23. Okay, over a 30-year period. And this is, we've talked about this before. It's a slow death. Yeah, I mean, this is what the Georgia Guidestones tells you about and talks about with the 500 million manageable number. I mean, how are they going to get to it? How are they going to get it to 500 million? How are they going to do that? Their plan has to eliminate a lot of people. Well, folks, you know, war with China and Russia and Iran and Israel and all these other places, they ever go to war again. I mean, I think this whole thing will be started. And I think the United States will be attacked by at least 1, maybe 2 nuclear bombs. And I think the UK will be bombed. I mean, it's in the Illuminati cards even. Somebody had, you know, put a video out there about that the UK, Big Ben, okay, according to one of these Illuminati cards, was going to be attacked by a nuclear bomb. I mean, our own money, the Illuminati, the Masons, whatever, even printed it on our own money. And people, depending on how you fold it together, I don't know whether it's a $20 bill or a $50 bill, but one of them actually shows a tsunami coming in and wiping out New York. I believe that is in Revelation 2. I don't know exactly where, but yeah. Which videos, Selena, you talk about? Well, let me do this, okay? Let's put this video in the chat room. Okay. This is the one on Fukushima. That will follow you to the rest of it. And that's the one on Fukushima. That's the one we've been talking about. But before we get to other things, I want to go through this quickly. So, in any case, go. E&E News is not on. Go research Fukushima. If you don't know about Fukushima, you haven't been following it since the tsunami and earthquake over there in Japan. That video, it's only 17 minutes, 44 seconds, should tell you a lot. You're welcome. So let's go to a couple of the things before I get to this invading army from the south. Okay, this was on April 5th, but I'm trying to follow something. Killer robots. We're talking about this AI stuff and these robots, and Elon Musk is all worried that we don't know enough about it and that we should be very careful with it. And of course, man is not careful with stuff. They just go. They don't care about the consequences. They just go and build something that they probably shouldn't, that they don't understand fully, like nuclear plants and what happens if they a core melts. I mean, they had an idea. I mean, that was in Hollywood, and everyone remembers the movie China Syndrome. I mean, they had that out before, quite a while ago. But from the BBC News, I mean, now we're talking about this. What was it? Skynet. Remember that? Skynet. What was the Terminator movies? I mean, wow. They put that in Hollywood to tell you what's going on. There's a lot that Hollywood people and whatever they put out there either as propaganda or knowledge. They let you know because I believe that they have to tell you what they're doing in a subtle way or however. So now we got South Korea University boycott over killer robots. We got killer drones. We got killer robots with AI intelligence. I mean, where does that come from? Where do you remember that in Hollywood, right? This from The Guardian. Killer robots. AI experts call for boycott over a lab at South Korea University. Academics around the world voice huge concern over collaboration with defense company on autonomous weapons. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the heck the problem is that they want to take away everyone's job. They want to put robots and kiosks and everything else in place of man. I mean, if you're going to get it down to 500 million, I guess you're going to need robots and automation to run things for the other 500 million that are left. And then Elon Musk, he was talking about, yes, eventually we will have to have a universal income. And there'll be no more jobs here. But, what are you going to do for the people who are here? There's going to be a universal income. Not just here, but this is the New World Orders. Beast system, whatever you want to call it. A universal income. So we'll all be on welfare, right? Probably doing something that we're, part of that. I think it might have something to do with the mark of the beast. And I guess most of them will be around to serve this beast or the Antichrist or whatever. I'm not claiming I know anything about it. I don't. It's just a lot of things are clicking. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, they're talking about making two internets, you know, why companies might need to do business across two internets in the future. I believe they have two already, don't they? One called ICANN, and isn't the other one called the dark web? Isn't that like another internet, right? So, any case, let's see. We already saw that. Yeah, I mean, there's these other stories. Yeah, so you know the stories that are going on about this bomber, this fake bomber, this patsy bomber, and apparently, I guess he was arrested. Wasn't he the one that was arrested in Florida? But and now we got news that there are other packages out there now. So this is from CNN though, so I don't know how likely any of this is true. New suspicious package addressed to CNN discovered at an Atlanta post office. I mean, and you know the stories that go down. You know, even with the shooting the other day over the weekend. I mean, they already have so many conspiratorial theories about that already calling that a false flag, and that there was actually training going on there. See, old watchman from Northern California had actually spoken and told me that he saw some video, which I do not have. Okay, I just got sick of the thing and didn't want to hear any more about it. But he said he had video of actual police conversations, like we had from that Las Vegas thing. Police scanner, people talking, and something about some actor. There was a mention of an actor in the conversation. Now, I never went and saw it. I'm only mentioning it because all this other stuff is already out there. I mean, yeah, I mean, I know there's a lot of propaganda out there. Yes, and we're so close to these midterms, and the Democrats are all, they're they're running for their lives basically because there's rumor out there what's going to happen if the Republicans, have the House and the Senate, and that's part of the Trump's plan to drain the swamp. They plan on having people arrested and military tribunals and everything. I mean, I don't know how much of this is true. Things are so saturated out there with this side, that side, or the other side, or upside down side. I mean, you really have to have been in this for a long time and paid attention to a lot of these things to spot some of the stuff, and it's even hard then. I mean, I don't listen, though I have heard on occasion or two this QAnon, this Q, I don't know who she is or he is. I mean, there's so many things that are thrown out there as to who that person is. And then you got, he or she puts out, messages, and some of them is just so cryptic that we got to have, another dozen or two or three dozen people trying to decrypt what he said. And, how much of that is really true? I mean, you understand all the total, it's just like total chaos, man. It's just like total chaos. If you're merging all this stuff, you see this stuff flying by you. I mean, who are you going to believe? Can anybody prove any of this? Anything? Can they? Unless you were standing where it happened. And even then, you may be in some type of simulation and it's just not real. Only you are. I mean, if you want to listen to some other people, because, yeah, we're supposedly in our own simulations. This is, what do they call it? This is Star Trek. We're in Star Trek, and we're on the holodeck, man. And everything else is fake around us. We're the only one that's real. This is crazy. This is the stuff that just accumulates over time, man. And eventually, I hope you know never have to reach that what do you call it? Reach that level of infiltration from all sides. I mean, unless people just pick apart some things and stay there and don't go anywhere, and they're all comfortable in their bubble. You know, personally, I think you need to know about everything so that you're not, you know, so that you don't have a heart attack. If something just pops out of the sky, you see some big flash of light, and all of a sudden oh, this looks like a spaceship or something else even weirder, and you know, and they're flying around. It looks like, and they do other things, or you see some reptilian walk down the street, you know, in the middle of the daytime, and you trying to focus and saying, "Whoa, what did I have for breakfast?" You know, how can I be seeing that? I mean, this is the stuff that's out there. Everything and anything you could think of is out there. What's true? What's true? How do you know? Do you care? I mean, should you even care? I mean, folks, all I can tell you is yes. Don't be distracted, because that's what it's all about. Most of it's, you know, Satan is running this world. He's not in control of everything. He's just allowed to run this world. He's the one that comes to kill, steal, and destroy, right? He's doing a darn good job, I'm telling you right now. There are so many people that are out there that are so off to one side or another, and they're all kinds of attacks every day, especially on Christians, obviously, because they're the ones that's not going to believe this junk. The only thing that true Christians want to know right now is when Jesus is coming. What are the signs? Do we have any of those signs out there? Do we see anything like that out there? And you should know, if you're a true Christian, that they are and what those signs are. The rest of it is just confusion. Just confusion. Don't worry about it. You know, we're not the fear man. I don't fear any man. I don't fear any consequence. If something flashed in my backyard, or like, you know, Tatum said, you know, a couple years back, if a volcano just shot up in the back of my yard, am I going to go running down the street, you know, with my hair on fire, screaming and yelling, trying to dodge it and hide under a rock or something? No, I'm not. You know, if the volcano is going to come up in my backyard and just explode with gas, well, then it's my time. I got to die anyway. We're all going to go anyway. Jesus said we're all appointed to die once. You know, whether I know most of us don't want to have to go through that they just want to blink their eye and then we'll be with Jesus. I mean, that's my hope too. I don't want to die, you know, at least feel it. I don't want to go through that. You know, a lot of people believe in the raptures, you know, whatever kind, and they won't have to suffer that. I mean, we are to go through tribulation. Jesus said that we are. How else are we going to be refined? How else are we going to become like Christ if we don't go through the things that he went through and, you know, suffer sometimes? Anyway, all I could tell, I'm just sorry, I'm getting away from the news. I apologize for it, but sometimes I just get to the point. I'm sorry that these things are they're not that important. They don't mean anything to me. I'm just looking for specific signs. But anyway, you know, I'm just looking to the sky. I expect my Lord to come in a cloud with, you know, if you ever seen, what was that 4th of July? What was that movie? I can't remember it. You know, how those clouds, and of course it was flying saucers that were inside those clouds, but that's kind of what I got in my head, and I'm sure it's not going to be like that, but, you know, the Lord said, just like he's going to come in the cloud, just like when he left. And when he left, he just went straight up and just disappeared into a cloud. That's what it said, and that's what two of his disciples saw. So I expect that to happen here. You see some cloud up there. I mean, you might even see lightning because he talked about lightning, you know. But everyone will see it at the same time. But remember, yes, Independence Day. Thank you very much, Selena. Independence Day. That's just crazy stuff, right? That's, you know, how that all, and you know, they talk about fire, like the, you know, like the color of amber rolling, and you know, they talk about that in Revelation. I believe it was Revelation. And that's how I see my Lord coming. And that's how I see everyone sees it. Because he says everyone will see it. Now, it's not going to be like, what was it, a couple of years ago? Because there's a couple Christs that are here and claim that they're Jesus Christ already. So, but you know those scriptures as well. You know, if they say, come to the desert, or come to the wilderness, Jesus Christ is there. I mean, if you have to be told that he's in the desert or that he's in the wilderness, then that's not him. Because you will know that he's here, believe me. You will definitely know. He will let everyone know. Everyone. There will be no doubt. But in the meantime, we're here to be refined by the fire. We're here to wash our robes clean, spotless, you know, because a lot of us will rule and reign with Jesus Christ in the millennia. We'll see. Well, in any case, I mean, I just wanted you to know that that's how meaningless a lot of this is to me. Yes, I do get upset when children are abused, or anybody is abused, and I kind of get angry with that. You know, I don't know, righteous anger. I don't think there's any righteous anger in particular, but Jesus had his righteous anger when he kicked out everyone in his father's temple, you know, turned over the tables. Yeah, he had a right to, and he did. He was angry, got him out. Yeah, there's some things out there that really, you know, will bother each and every one of us, but you just have to remember that, you know, even those people, they're not suffering anymore. They're you know, they're in paradise. That's it. You know, we got to try and remind ourselves that's what this is all about. A lot of us, even the ones that are not, you know, they're still asleep. I mean, I'm sure that they have their moments when they say, "Well, why am I here? What am I doing here?" There's got to be more than just this. That was one of the questions I asked at my lowest time, and I needed to know. What am I here for? There's got to be more than this. And I'm telling you, if you ask those questions, Jesus has already got a hold of you. Go ask it to him. Go pray to him. He will answer you. I mean, if you could find the answer to those questions, wouldn't you just happen to have more just have more hope? That's what you want, hope, right? And if Jesus was hope, why wouldn't you go to him? Why wouldn't you go and see what this hope is all about? Yeah, I did. I wanted to see what this hope was about. And I saw it. He let me see it. In any case. So in the meantime, everyone, we have to deal with this crazy ass. Sorry, I went and swore. I haven't done that in a long, long time. Wow. Crazy, bizarre, vulgar, dark world that we're living in now. And unfortunately, it's only going to get worse. So let's listen to this news. Let's take it for what it's worth. Not much, but just know that these are the things that's going on. These are the propaganda stuff. This is fake. This isn't, you know, whatever. We take what we can discern out of it. We pray for the rest and pray for the people, you know, the innocent ones that have to pay. And that's just it. And then we keep going, and the more we learn, the better we are, the more we can handle this news, because it will get worse. Unfortunately, that's what the Bible says. It'll be like the days of Noah, right? Do you think that we're there yet? God bless, Karen. I don't think we're quite there yet. Well, what are you waiting for? What are we waiting for? The giants? Are we waiting for the giants? Or are they here already? Who are the giants? Let's see, what else do I have here? I already got that suspicious package. But, the caravan, that's what I was going to talk about tonight. And I have this clip here from, it's actually from The Blaze, and Glenn Beck. He gets, it's a 4-minute clip. He gets an email, and somebody who's actually living in Honduras or something like that sends him an email and tells him the real reason that this caravan, why it was started. And yes, it had something to do with the U.S.'s involvement in those countries. Okay, for better or for worse, I don't know the whole stories, but these people who are in this caravan are angry at the U.S. Okay, they did something there that didn't bode well for the country. And usually when the U.S. goes in there like that, yeah, it's just not good for those countries. So with that, I believe that this caravan, if you look carefully at the videos, and make sure it's videos, because even though they do have technology to change videos on the fly, you could tell the difference. They haven't quite, at least that we know of, perfected it to where they can change it instantly on the fly. But anyway, that's what we're fed anyway. We're fed that for a reason, and so we have to work with that. There's a couple women there. There are mostly men there, and they're angry. They're coming to America, and they were already offered jobs from Mexico. Mexico already offered them work and places to live, and they turned it down. Turned down. So, in the meantime, with this midterms and stuff coming up, you got things coming out here, and people with taking words that other people say, because they're talking about this guy who, this Robert Bowers, who they arrested for this shooting the other day, and they break it down. They look at his post that he was posting. Who knows? Somebody can go in there and open up a file and say they're you and start posting. I mean, that's what they can do. So I don't hold any truth to any of this stuff. But if you look at it, I mean, there's things in here like this guy was spewing out about calling immigrants invaders, distributing racist memes, and asserting that Jews were the enemy of white people, so on and so forth. So, folks, be careful. I mean, these are key words that they're going to be looking for between now and the midterms. And if you speak of any of them, you speak of this caravan as invaders, which I think they are. I think they are, maybe not invaders, because I don't think they could really invade us, but they could try. But they are a force that are intent on invading. Okay, and no, they're not just here for jobs, because there's not really a whole lot of jobs in America either. Okay, that's all went to China. That's why we're at war with China. Okay, that's why we're in the trade wars and the cyber wars and everything else. We're trying to get things back to equal, but it won't happen. In the meantime, U.S. is sanctioning China's oil. Same thing that happened in World War II. That's how that started. U.S. sanctioned Japan's oil. Japan only had 6 months left. And then if they couldn't get any more oil, they were dead as a society. And so what happened? They had to go to war. It was either dead as a society in 6 months or go to war and hope to be victors, or else we're dead anyway. So that's basically what the U.S. is trying to do with China. Only China, they have a lot of people. And we've let them build already, what is it, 2 to 4 aircraft carriers out of the 7 they said they were going to build. And supposedly we're not supposed to be, according to people out there, that we will go to war with China, but it won't be for anywhere from 5 to 15 years. I think it's going to be a lot closer than that, folks. Will it come to your door? Who knows? We keep letting these illegals, okay? I have nothing against immigrants. We keep letting the illegals in. They very could be at your front door. I think it's going to be a different war. This will be started by a nuke or two, I think. And then we'll realize how horrific those things really are. Because they're not like Hiroshima and what was the other one? Nagasaki. Okay? They're not like them. They are like 10 times or 100 times bigger than those. Okay, and there will be 1 or 2 here in this country and 1 in the UK. And they'll see how horrific that is, but we'll have to go to war conventionally and use other type of high-tech stuff that probably won't even know about or see. So with that, people, sorry, this was a different news tonight. I just got set in the mood, and I talked to the Lord, and the rest is up to Him. So with that, everyone, thank you for joining me. I will be back Wednesday, hopefully, Lord willing. And that's it. God bless you all. Have a great evening. Go hug your loved ones, man. Keep them always around you. Keep them, know where they are, know what they're doing. And most of all, forgive them. Forgive each other. Forgive them. There's no reason to be at odds with any of your loved ones. It's time to forgive. Forgive and forget. You know where that came from, right? Jesus told you to do that first of all. So, God bless and peace out, everyone.